Ned tells Olivia 6 shocking words when he wakes up. ABC General Hospital spoilers. Some nights carry an energy that shivers through the walls of General Hospital. One of those tense, electric, fragile nights when even the air seems to hover, waiting. Nurses whisper. Alarms beep like muted heartbeats. Doctors exchange looks that say far more than words ever could. And deep inside the critical care unit, where the lights are dim and the blinds half-drawn, Ned Quartermain lies unconscious, a shell of the man who once commanded entire boardrooms and family showdowns with equal fire. Tubes, monitors, oxygen lines, all fighting the battle his mind cannot yet join. 4 days, Olivia sat beside him. 4 nights too. She never moved far, not even when Lois tried to force her home, not even when Tracy barked orders, nor when Brooklyn cried herself to sleep in the chair beside her. The Quartermain family had seen tragedies. They had survived betrayals. They had lived through plane crashes, explosions, poisonings, and wars of their own invention. But nothing felt quite like this silence. The silence of a man who should be arguing. The silence of a husband who should be holding Olivia's hand. The silence of a father who should be teasing Brooklyn. Olivia whispered to him every day anyway. Come back to me, Eddie. Please. And no one knew if he ever would. Until tonight. Because tonight, Ned Quartermain would open his eyes. And his first words, 6 devastating, shocking words, would shake Port Charles, blow apart secrets, expose traitors, and turn the Quartermain family into ground zero of a brand new war. It was almost 3 a.m. Olivia sat curled up beside Ned's bed, fingers woven into his cold, limp hand. The heating vent hummed. The clock ticked far too loudly. Olivia's eyelids fluttered as exhaustion pulled her down. She didn't notice the first twitch of his hand. Or the second. But the third time. His fingers curled around hers. Olivia's eyes snapped open. She stared down, breath frozen in her chest. Ned, she whispered. A soft groan rumbled in his throat. His eyelids fluttered once, twice, and then they opened, unfocused and glassy. Ned! Olivia gasped, launching herself half out of the chair. Baby, can you hear me? His lips parted. Olivia. Barely audible, barely formed. But it was him. Olivia burst into sobs, kissing his forehead, his hand, his cheek. Oh, thank God, Ned, you came back to me. Ned blinked sluggishly as if every motion weighed 10 pounds. He swallowed, winced, then forced his gaze to lock with Olivia's. Something was wrong. Those eyes weren't confused. They weren't foggy. They weren't dazed or amnesiac. They were terrified. His breathing hitched. Machines beeped faster. Olivia, Ned rasped again, voice hoarse, shaking. I need to tell you something. Now. Anything, she whispered, brushing hair from his forehead. You say whatever you need. I'm right here. Ned grabbed her wrist with surprising strength. And then, voice cracking, eyes burning, he uttered the 6 words that would flip their world upside down. For a full 5 seconds, Olivia couldn't breathe. What? Ned, what are you talking about? She whispered, heart pounding. His grip tightened. Don't call the nurses, he hissed, straining to lift his head. Don't tell anyone I'm awake yet. Olivia's blood ran cold. Ned had just come out of a coma. He was pale, weak, confused, wasn't he? But the look in his eyes, sharp, focused, terrified, was real. There was no confusion. No amnesia. No Eddie Main persona. This was fully, completely, unmistakably Ned Quartermain. And he was scared. Baby, calm down. No, he snapped. Listen to me. Olivia froze again. Ned exhaled shakily and scanned the room. His eyes darted to the security camera in the corner. Then the vent. Then the shadow under the door. He swallowed. They are watching us, he whispered again. And if they know I'm awake, Olivia, they will kill me. And you. Olivia's stomach plummeted. She grabbed his shoulders. Who? Who wants to kill you? Ned, what happened? Ned closed his eyes. His breathing shook. I know who pushed me, he whispered. Olivia's breath caught. He opened his eyes again, filled with a mixture of grief, guilt, and deadly fear. It wasn't an accident, Ned said. I was silenced. Ned had been replaying it in his dreams. Or nightmares. The voice. The threat. The shove. It all came back in vibrating, jagged pieces. 10 minutes earlier. The Quartermain mansion buzzed with loud voices, Brooklyn and Tracy sparring over deception, Lois trying to mediate, Michael storming and demanding answers. Ned felt the room tighten around him. He stepped away. Into the hallway. Toward the den. And that's where he heard it. Two voices. One unfamiliar. One horribly familiar. A phone call on speaker. A whispered argument. A plan being set in motion. Ned froze outside the door. "It's done," the familiar voice said. "He knows too much," the stranger replied. Then the familiar voice hissed. "Then we handle it tonight." Ned gasped. The floor creaked. The door swung open. Eyes met his. He tried to run. A hand grabbed his arm. A voice whispered coldly, "You should have stayed quiet, Ned." And then, a sickening shove. Pain exploding behind his skull. Air rushing. The world vanishing. Until now. Olivia steadied herself. "Who was it?" she whispered. "Tell me who was in that hallway with you." Ned hesitated. But he spoke. "It was someone from inside the family," he whispered. "And someone from the outside working with them." Olivia's eyes widened. "The Quartermains," she breathed. "Ned, are you telling me one of your own tried to kill you?" He nodded weakly. "I don't know who the outside partner is yet. But the inside one. Olivia, we've been blind." Olivia covered her mouth. "Was it Tracy?" Ned shook his head. "Not this time." "Brooklyn?" His eyes watered. "No. Never her." "Michael?" Olivia whispered, trembling. Ned's gaze turned somber. "It wasn't Michael." Olivia's voice cracked. "Then who?" Ned's lip trembled. "I need to regain my strength before I accuse them. But the moment they know I'm awake, Olivia, they'll try again." Olivia's hands shook uncontrollably. She reached for the call button. Ned jerked up, grabbing her wrist. "Don't." She froze. "I need time," he said. "Just a few hours. Until morning. Please." "Ned, what if you crash again? What if something happens medically?" "Something will happen if you call them," he whispered. And Olivia, heart pounding, mind spinning, believed him. She squeezed his hand. Okay. I won't call anyone." But the moment she said it, the door behind them creaked open. Olivia whipped around. Her heart stopped. Someone was standing there, almost hidden in the shadows. Silent. Watching. Listening. Olivia stepped protectively in front of Ned. "Who's there?" she demanded. The figure stepped forward. "Tracy." "Olivia." Tracy said slowly, eyes narrowing. "What's going on? Why are you yelling?" Olivia forced a shaky smile. "Oh, Tracy, he moved a little. Just a twitch. Nothing big." Tracy's eyes snapped to Ned. "Did he wake up?" Olivia shook her head quickly. Too quickly. No, he's still out. I'm just tired. Emotional. You know how it is." Tracy didn't move. Didn't blink. Didn't breathe. And Ned, very slowly, closed his eyes and went limp. Olivia glanced back at him. His breathing changed. Softer. Controlled. It looked natural. Too natural. Tracy walked closer. "I came because Austin updated Dante's case file," she said. "They think Ned's fall was suspicious. They may be reopening the investigation." Olivia's blood went cold. Tracy stared at Ned's monitors. "Funny," she murmured. "Everything seems unusually stable tonight." Olivia forced a smile. "Yeah, guess it's a good sign." Tracy finally turned toward the door. "When he wakes up," she said, "don't let him speak to anyone until I get here." "Understood." Olivia stiffened. "Why?" Tracy's eyes glinted. "Because I have questions that need answers." And she walked out, closing the door softly behind her. The moment she left, Ned opened his eyes and whispered, "It wasn't Tracy, but she knows something." Over the next hours, Olivia sat perched like a hawk, guarding Ned's room, praying no one else walked in. Every sound in the hallway made her jump. Every shadow looked suspicious. At 5:15 a.m., Ned whispered, "Someone's coming. I can feel it." Olivia tensed. "How?" "Because this isn't about the fall," he whispered. "This is about ELQ. About a takeover. And the person who tried to kill me needed me out of the way before the vote." Olivia covered her mouth. You mean this is all about money?
Ned shook his head. No.
It's much bigger than that. What could possibly be bigger than ELQ?
Ned looked at her with hollow eyes.
National security.
Olivia blinked.
What?
He swallowed.
The insider isn't just working with a corporate rival.
They are working with someone dangerous. Someone who has ties to government espionage.
Someone who used me, my position, my access, my resources, to launder information through ELQ.
Olivia felt sick.
Ned, who?
But before he could answer, the door handle turned, and in stepped the last person Olivia ever expected. It wasn't Tracy, or Brooklyn,
Or Lois.
or Michael, or even Valentin. It was someone far quieter, someone always overlooked, someone perfectly placed, a person with access, a person who kept records,
A person who could erase files.
a person no one ever suspected, the family's trusted accountant.
Elijah Reeves. Elijah.
Olivia blurted. He smiled calmly. Too calmly. Morning, he said.
I noticed some odd activity on Ned's chart and came to check.
Olivia's heart hammered.
What activity?
Oh, nothing, he said, eyes drifting toward Ned. Just movement. Increased brain function.
It looked promising.
Olivia stepped closer to Ned protectively. Why are you checking on that?
You're not medical staff.
Elijah's smile sharpened. I check on everything in this family. Always have. And then his eyes met Ned's.
You're awake.
Olivia gasped. Ned didn't speak.
Elijah's expression shifted, mask dropping, revealing cold satisfaction. Well, he murmured, that complicates things.
Elijah reached into his coat.
Olivia lunged forward. No.
Ned tried to sit up but collapsed.
Elijah grabbed a syringe.
A clear liquid. Deadly. Silent.
Ned should have died the first time, Elijah said. And you, unfortunately, had to witness this. Olivia screamed for help.
But Elijah slammed the door, locking it.
You Quartermaines always make everything messy, he sighed. Olivia grabbed the nearest object, a metal force stand, and swung. Elijah dodged, grabbed her arm, twisted.
Until Ned shouted.
Let her go.
Elijah turned.
Ned, weak, trembling, barely upright, was standing. Olivia broke free, tackled Elijah at the waist, knocking the syringe loose.
It slid across the floor.
Under the bed. Elijah snarled and shoved Olivia. She hit the wall, wincing. You're done interfering, he snapped, charging at her.
But Ned moved. Despite the weakness. Despite the pain. He stepped in front of her.
Elijah punched Ned in the ribs.
Ned gasped but stayed standing.
You should have stayed in the coma, Elijah hissed.
Ned's voice grew cold.
And you should have remembered, I'm a Quartermaine.
Suddenly, the door burst open. Guns drawn.
Freeze!
Anna shouted.
Elijah froze, finally cornered. He dropped the syringe.
Raised his hands. And smiled.
Well, he said, this will be interesting.
Dante cuffed him. Anna turned to Ned.
Mr. Quartermaine, we need your statement. Immediately. Olivia wrapped her arms around Ned, shaking in relief. You saved my life, she whispered. Ned held her, trembling.
No, he murmured. You saved mine.
By sunrise, the whole hospital buzzed. The Quartermaines flooded the room. Tracy hugged Ned, insisting it was only for medical stabilization.
Brooklyn cried so hard Ned cried too.
Lois kissed his head and threatened to kill Elijah herself. Michael and Willow rushed in.
So did Monica. So did Carly.
So did everyone who ever loved, hated, or tolerated Ned. Ned finally sat back in bed. Exhausted. Safe. Alive. Anna and Dante stood ready with notepads. Ned, Anna said gently, we need the full story. Everything. Ned glanced at Olivia, then nodded. This all began when Elijah approached me 3 months ago, Ned said. He wasn't just an accountant. He was a mole, planted in ELQ over a year ago. He wanted access to our international holdings. Offshore accounts. Shipping lines. He was moving data, dangerous data, through ELQ subsidiaries. Anna's eyes widened. Espionage. Ned nodded. He blackmailed someone inside the family to help him. Olivia held his hand. Who? She whispered.
Ned exhaled heavily.
Then he finally spoke the words that would start the next war in Port Charles. It was Drew.
The room fell silent. Olivia gasped. Brooklyn's jaw dropped. Trace's eyes went wide. Drew? Anna repeated sharply. Ned nodded slowly. He didn't want to work with Elijah.
Elijah blackmailed him, threatened Scout,
Threatened Carly.
threatened to expose something from his time in Pentonville. Drew tried to resist, but he broke.
Olivia covered her mouth.
Ned continued.
I confronted them. Elijah panicked.
Drew begged him not to hurt me, but Elijah shoved me before Drew could stop him.
Olivia whispered. And Drew kept quiet. Ned nodded weakly.
He thought keeping silent would protect us all.
Anna's expression hardened.
We'll verify everything.
But Ned stopped her. Anna, don't arrest Drew yet. He was forced.
And I think Elijah's partner, the real mastermind, is still out there.
Olivia's eyes widened.
You mean there's another one?
Ned nodded. Yes. And they're inside Port Charles.
Elijah was behind bars.
Drew was missing.
The Quartermains were shaken. And Ned, alive, awake, alert, was ready for war. But his 6 words would haunt the family for days, weeks, months. You're not safe. They are watching us.
Because now the watchers knew Ned was awake.
And Port Charles would never be the same again.